Hi, this is Tavi Greiner, Astronomy.fm's Vice President of Communications. If you enjoy our programming, please let us know with a donation to astronomy.fm/donate. We really do rely on your support, and it's true, every little bit counts.
AFM.
The sun is yellow, Sirius is blue, and good grief, the sky is too. I like listening to the voice of the universe, Astronomy.fm radio.
Hello and welcome to another edition of CometWatch. Hello and welcome to to post-Halloween actually. It's early November and yes, we're back. We've been a bit busy at home, so sorry folks, there's been at least a couple of months with no shows, but we are definitely back. It is November, the nights are getting darker, we can get the telescopes out, we can have longer to play with our CCDs and the SLRs and generally enjoy ourselves. So yes, CometWatch is back, and of course I'm joined this month as always by
Mary McIntyre.
Neil couldn't make it tonight, but I'm sure he'll make it for next month. We are working on a guest hopefully for next month, so keep your eyes peeled. And of course, CometWatch in the pub is approaching.
Looking forward to that one.
That's going to be alright. I may have some fun because I'm on the new phone and everything. I may say prop the phone up and we'll do a live video broadcast too.
Yeah, we can do a Facebook Live from that, can't we?
We could do that. Yeah, plenty of signal. So anyway, yes, it's been interesting few months comet-wise whilst we've been away. We have a very nice pair of, I would say we've got 3 decent comets coming in, maybe 4, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. So, as always, the shipping forecast for comets, observers and imagers, and I'll kick it off with October the 2nd, Warchop Boomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
And on October the 3rd, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
October the 5th, Warchop Boomplod reports 2 Kreutzgruppe comets in real-time C3 images. Gosh, this guy's busy.
I know. On the 6th of October, the recovery of 2006 D1, brackets P/Hill, that was as 2018 T1 reported.
October the 7th, Warchop Boomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
Okay, apologies in advance for the pronunciation here. October the 8th, Piyuan Sun reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
October the 8th again, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
Then October the 9th, Warchop Bloomplod reports another Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
October the 12th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
And October the 13th, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
October 16th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
October the 17th, Masanori Yuchina reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
October the 19th, Warchop Bloomplod and Masanori Yuchina report a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
And then October the 21st, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
October 24th, Warchop Bloomplod again reports 2 Kreutzgruppe comets in real-time C3 images.
Very busy month for those guys, because on October the 24th, Warshot Bloomplod reports 2 Kreutzgruppe comets in real-time C3 images.
October 25th, Warchop Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
And October the 27th, Warshot Bloomplod reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
October the 28th, Zheng Chao reports a Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
And October the 29th, Zheng Chao again reports another Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C2 images.
October the 30th, Warchop Bloomplod reports 2 Kreutzgruppe comets in group comets in real-time C2 images.
And October the 30th again, Warshot Bloomplod reports another Kreutzgruppe comet in real-time C3 images.
October 31st, it's an update day. Yes, the BAA visual observation page got updated. Now, if there have been no recent updates here, you can always try the German Comet group or Yasuichi Yoshida's page for more information, or Liga Iberoamericana de Astronomía for observations. Yes, I have been practicing that one. Now on to current comet magnitudes. I swear I have not had a drink. October 31st, an observable region, October 31st. We're just having too much fun, you see. 46P Wirtanen, magnitude 8.5, bright, 45 degrees north to 60 south. It's an all-night image, last visually observed October 2018.
Then we have 38P Stephan-Oterma, that's magnitude 9.5 and brightening, observable 90 degrees north to 50 degrees south. That's best viewed in the morning. Last visual observation was October 2018.
64P Swift-Gehrels. I like this comet. It's got a lovely little coma. Magnitude 10.5, steady, 90 degrees north to 35 degrees south. It's an all-night object. Last visually observed October 2018.
Then we have Pan-STARRS 2016 M1, that's magnitude 10.5 and fading, observable 25 north to 60 south. That's visible evening and morning, and last visual observation was September 2018.
Pan-STARRS 2016 R2, again, this is also at 10.5 magnitude. It varies 90 degrees north to 30 degrees north, early PM and mornings. Last visual observation October 2018.
Then we have 21P Giacobini Zinner, magnitude 11, that's fading, observable 40 degrees north to 60 south, best viewed in the morning, last visual observation October 2018.
And then we have Atlas 2018 L2, magnitude 12, steady, poor elongation, last observation was October 2018.
Then we have Pan-STARRS 2016 N6, that's at magnitude 12.5 and steady, observable 65 degrees north to 45 degrees south. That's a morning object, and the last visual observation October 2018.
Pan-STARRS 2017 S3, 13th magnitude, fade question mark, poor elongation, last visually observed August 2018.
Then we have everyone's favourite, 29P Schrachmann-Wachmann. That is magnitude 13 question mark, because we all know that varies. Observable 60 degrees north to 60 south. That's best viewed in the evening, and the last visual observation was October 2018.
78P Gehrels, 13.5 bright, 50 degrees north to 55 degrees south. Evening object, last observed October 2018.
Then we have 48P Johnson, that's 13.5 and fading, observable 35 north to 60 south, that's best viewed in the evening, last visual observation October 2018.
And your starter for 10 is 11 2018 Echo Foxtrot 9, 14th magnitude question mark fade, 80 degrees north to 35 degrees south, evening, last visually observed May 2018.
And finally we have 240P NEAT, that is mag 14 question mark, it's fading, observable 90 degrees north to 10 south. That's a morning object, but no visual observations yet reported.
Now I have to admit, I'm wondering if this is one we've actually missed, because normally everybody's fairly good, we get visual observations in, but this one is fading already, and yet no one's actually visually observed it. I do wonder if this is perhaps one of those ones that has actually got away from us. So anyway, as usual, the observable region is an approximate indication of the latitude at which the comet may be seen. Under good conditions, obviously, comets may be visible outside this range. The period when visible is for the UK. If the comet is visible from the UK, otherwise for 40 south, or the equator is appropriate. Obviously, the last visual observation is as received by the section. Details are often updated on the basis of observations published elsewhere. So normally this would be working in people like Yoshida, as well as everybody else, our friends Machini, and of course Warchart as well, because everybody's pooling this information. And this is probably the great thing about being into comets, is because everybody shares. Now, I did say something about some joy for us. Well, 46. Well, it depends on the weather. That could spoil the joy, but hey, 46.
Well, I think the number of visual observations in October shows that we've had quite a few clear nights, so that's good.
Yes, and even though we've, quite a few of us have had multiple hurricanes, it hasn't really stopped people. And of course, you can always image remotely if you're one of those affected people. That's what I do. But as I say, 46P Wirtanen is actually going to reach perihelion in mid-December, and then it'll actually pass within 0.1 AU of the Earth. It is predicted, and I'm always going to stress this word, predicted, to reach a maximum brightness of magnitude 2.5. Some of the eye telescopes don't have it showing yet as an accessible object, so I will keep an eye on that. I'll also go into a few other places and see if I can image there. Now, of course, the other three candidates are 38P Stephan-Oterma. That gets to perihelion in early November. In mid-December is within 0.8 AU. They reckon it's a maximum brightness of 6.7, and that's in late November. So maybe from the UK we will have a good chance of seeing this, never mind imaging it. And I think if we can just get a few more clear nights, and those, to be honest, those winter nights are really, really nice, but we still have to look out for turbulence, and we do get it. We think optically, using the old Mark 1, it's a beautiful clear night, but it may still be disturbance in the air, but we can try. And of course,
it's quite often steady after you've had a rainstorm and then it clears, so it's always worth checking if the sky's just cleared, even if it's just for an hour.
Yeah, never hurts to go out and have a look. Because you may just get lucky, and if you can visually observe these comets, the BAA Comet section would love to get your records, and you can contact them very quickly by just going to the BAA homepage and then looking for sections, comet sections, and there is contact information there for Nick, Dennis, and Jonathan. And of course, with Jonathan Shanklin and Nick and Dennis, we have to thank for this wonderful page, which is so useful.
Yeah, I'd just like to say as well, I'm obviously I'm friends with Steve Tonkin, but he's just brought out a new binocular astronomy book, and one of the it teaches you how to use the sky and star hop, and it does it in a really easy to understand way. So if we do have any beginners listening who aren't quite sure how to find comets with their binoculars, getting a copy of that book will really help, because it's got really nice maps in it that will help you, because we all know what the constellations look like, but you point a pair of binoculars at the sky and you can instantly get lost because there are so many stars. And I think this book is going to be one of those that'd be really good for people that want to get into visual astronomy again, and particularly for kind of comet reporting. I think a book like that would be really useful for people. Yes. So it's worth looking out. Stick it on your Christmas list. I got my copy as an anniversary present, and it's fantastic. So I think I just wanted to mention that if we do have any beginners out there that are trying to kind of learn their way around. And
of course, I know we all carp on about light pollution and everything, but I will say this about working from town and cities. Yes, you're not going to see as many stars as you would from, say, a countryside location. But for learning how to star hop and to constellation hop, perhaps that is a benefit, because you don't get confused that easily. It does make the constellations fairly easier to see, to recognize, and once you do get into a very good darkness area, it certainly helps. The last time I was up at Kielder, I didn't have anything with me, no star maps or anything, and I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning for some reason, and I went outside and it had cleared, and when I went to bed it was like overcast, miserable.
I think that's what's happening there tonight, actually, because we're under a red alert for aurora and everyone at Kielder is getting rained on.
Oh boy, isn't it always the way? We get one of those few UK red alerts to go out and look, and yeah, right, you were joking, aren't you?
Well, I remember seeing a talk by Gary, who runs Kielder Observatory, and he went off around the Atacama Desert with a couple of friends and a cameraman in search of perfect skies. And he actually said that what was interesting is even if you're in a light polluted area, the bit directly above your head is just not affected by it. And he said the sky in Kielder is comparable with parts of the African deserts that he went to, because it is just so dark there. And obviously, I mean, I've done horizon to horizon Milky Way shots, and you can see the gradient, but there is a strip of sky that is black directly above your head. So if you have anything near the zenith, you will still get it, even from a light polluted location. And I tell people to do this crazy thing where you kind of put a box around your head, because the minute you visually block out the street lights, you suddenly have a darker sky. It's amazing. It doesn't affect every inch of the sky. You can work with it. So, don't be disheartened if you are in a town. And like you say, when you go somewhere completely dark and there's no moon, you can't find the constellations because there are so many stars.
Yeah.
So
it was one of those really lovely autumn skies, and it was like, I'm staying out here. I've got a milk crate to sit. I'm sitting on a milk crate, leaning up against somebody's caravan, just looking up, and I'm thinking, I'm not even going to bother looking for constellations because it's just too much there.
It's just mesmerising. It's mesmerising.
Yeah, like I say, we're lucky. We've got well, four good comets coming in. Yeah, I still rate 21P as a good comet, even though it's past perihelion. It's still out there. Yes, it's fading, but it's people are still taking pictures and getting oohs and ahs.
Yeah, it's a nice comet.
Atlas C 2018 L2 Atlas. It does reach perihelion in early December, but it's only predicted. Big word. I'm sorry. I think this is one of the problems we face. We talk to amongst ourselves. We say, yeah, they reckon it could reach magnitude whatever. We know that when we're talking to each other that we're talking about a prediction. So someone
or a jinx-iction, more like.
Yep, there is that to it. But what has happened is someone has sat down. They've taken the orbit of the comet. They've taken every scrap of information, including past magnitudes of it as it comes in closer to the sun, and they've worked up a light curve. Alichi Yoshida is one of these guys who is very, very good at light curves. In fact, the way when he does it, he actually does get in pretty darn close to being on the nail. And I want to know which gods he's using, because I want to speak to them myself. This guy is good.
How did he do this for long period comets where we don't have that data to do a light curve?
I'm not really sure. I think a lot of it is done on the actual predicted passage of the comet. So as what they're doing, they're predicting the orbit. Like for instance, with Halley's comet, and it is not Halley. Halley is acceptable. Halley, from what I understand, is probably the correct one. Do remember that Newton wrote, if you read how Newton wrote the name, and I think, who was the other? It was Mr. Johnson, the diarist. He also knew Halley, and they all seem to pronounce it as Hawley, not Halley, and certainly it's nothing to do with Bill Haley.
No.
Or Bill Bailey. But as I say, this is where we're getting these predictions of maximum brightness. Now, we noticed with P1 Hawley is that the way the orbit was affected, it wasn't going to be a very good passage for us. And putting that into the equation, the predicted magnitude was pretty... I reckon they were pretty spot on, given it wasn't the best possible place in the sky for us, and we certainly weren't in the best possible place to see it. But the actual...
No, I didn't get to see it. I'm forever gutted that I didn't get to see it in the 80s.
I remember it just. I spent a lot of hours on a lot of late nights searching the predicted patch of sky. I didn't have a telescope. I was using binoculars, and I think I got it. I will say I think I got it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got it. because I was using averted vision. And this is something else. You don't really look for these objects with the way you would say, look at a person standing beside you. You're looking out of the corner of your eye, really, because that is where the most sensitive cells are in your eye, particularly for dark adaptation. So you're using averted vision. Knowing where to look, I think, is half the story.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being glued to the teletext or CFAX.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm showing
that.
my age now. Yeah, they had Halley Watch, and every morning I'd study those star maps. And I think I had some binoculars. I didn't know how to use my telescope. But no, I never did see it. But I did see my first fireball that when I was around that period when I was looking for it, because one of my parents' friends said, I saw Halley's Comet last night. It came zooming past me. I was like, no, it didn't. That definitely wasn't the comet.
No.
But it was a really impressive fireball. So I saw something.
I think if the comet entered the atmosphere, we would most certainly know about it.
Yes, we would still be knowing about it probably.
Yes, but as I say, no. The next apparition of the comet is not favourable either, from what I understand, which is a shame. But however, it will be there.
We have better equipment now than we did back then as well,
Absolutely.
so we'll still get it.
Oh yeah, we'll get it, and I think that will be the thing. All of us, if you pardon the expression, all us old farts who have really put in our time and diligence, will probably find it without any problem. Yes, we're very good at even for old farts, because we can actually learn all this new stuff. Having said that, I'm now learning Sky Tools 4 for imaging, and I just got used to Sky Tools 3. Skyhound Greg bought out a completely separate version for images. It even writes ACP imaging plans that you can upload to iTelescope.
Nice.
So it's good. I like it. I will master it. It'll take me a few months, but I will get there. But we do have some decent comets. So as we said, we've talked about Wirtanen, Stephan-Oterma. Swift-Gehrels is doing nicely. That's supposed to be magnitude 9.7. Atlas is predicted to be 9.3. And 21P Jacobi Zinner is still doing O's and R's, even though it reached perihelion in early September. S3 Pan-STARRS faded since its outburst in July 2nd. It brightened by 3 magnitudes. It became very visible for a visually observable object. On July 20th, it was a binocular object at magnitude 7.3. It passed perihelion in mid-August, but we don't know if it survived the passage because it was past the Bortle limit. Now, someone's next time going to say, well, Nick, you didn't tell us what a Bortle limit is, so just give me 1 second and I will pull that up. Okay, particularly in regards to comets, so this is going to be fun because... here we go, Bortle limit comets. Okay, so back in May 2017, a chap called John... where are we? Oh, no, I've just lost my place. I've got my link up and everything. Okay, so John Bortle has developed a formula that expresses the survival limit for comets that approach within 5.5 AU of the Sun. Now what I will do, I will put this in, it's part of the Comet Section Observing Guide. So now this is one of the things I think you should have in your library, and I am tempted to contact the BAA and ask them, can you make this available on Kindle too? Because a lot of us, I carry my astronomical library around with me on a Kindle. Slowly, all the books by the greats, Eugene Shoemaker, David Levy, are actually coming out on Kindle. Some of the really good science stuff is on Kindle. Normally part of planetary science books, but it is there. And there we go. So I'm just trying to quickly pull up the rest of the Bortle. Mary, whilst I'm looking for that, why don't you tell us about UK Mon?
Yeah, well, we're hoping to get Richard from UK Mon on the show at some point, but last month my husband and I went to the UK Mon conference in Cardiff, and it was I wasn't quite sure what to expect because I'm not really into coding and the kind of building software side of things, and I'm not that great with the technical equipment, So I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it was such an interesting day, and it was really, really varied. And it was in the Cardiff Museum, and one of the talks there was from one of the ladies who works there, Dr. Jana Horrock, who was talking about petrology and mineralogy of meteorites and all the outreach that they do at Cardiff Museum with those meteorites. And that was really interesting because obviously a lot of meteors are cometary debris, so it kind of links. But the UK Mon, I know we've had people from Nematode on the show before, but UK Mon have got a network of people around the country and actually out of the UK as well, just constantly monitoring the skies for meteor events. And my husband's been working quite hard on writing code to filter out aircraft trails, clouds getting illuminated. This week we've had a lot of hits from fireworks, obviously. But it's really interesting, even if you're in a fairly light polluted location, if you get a bright fireball, you're going to see it on your cameras. And the minute more than one camera gets it, you can triangulate and then you can categorize where the meteor originated. So it was really interesting. So there were lots of different aspects on that were being talked about, and some of the kind of software issues. But one of the things that I found really interesting was because I love photographing lightning, and there were some guys there that actually research lightning and specifically sprites. And Richard Fleet has, I think, 7 meteor cameras now, and he's managed to get sprites. He's imaged sprites on his meteor cameras from a storm that was taking place, I think, in France, because sprites are so high. So if you've got obviously the conditions have to be right, because you can't have any cloud between you and the storm, but you need a clear view looking above the cloud base of that storm. And they are really high, they're really faint, they're very, very fast. So they're incredibly difficult to photograph. And I think until fairly recently, they didn't ever have any pictures of them. But now, obviously, they've flown planes with high-speed cameras in and photographed sprites. And so it's just another thing that you can add to the interesting things that the meteor camera can pick up. You obviously get a lot of bird flights, aircraft. There's a lot of junk that you have to sift through. But we are getting 30 meteors a night on a clear night, and even though it was cloudy during the peak of the Perseids, we must have caught 500 plus Perseids this year in bad weather. And so, you know, it's really interesting, and you are contributing to actual science when you have these cameras. So hopefully Richard will come on the show soon and talk about the network in more detail, because it's obviously, you know, his baby, and there's, you know, a number of people that work behind the scenes, like just so many hours making sure everything's working properly. But it's an interesting thing to be a part of, just having the cameras constantly monitoring the sky, and the software is really clever, and you know, the cameras are relatively easy to set up. So no, it's a good thing to be doing. I still like to get out with my camera to photograph meteors, because the meteor cameras are not there to take pretty pictures. They're there to do science of the event. So there is a picture, but it doesn't look like a digital SLR picture of a meteor would. So if there's a meteor shower peak, I'll still have 3 cameras running in the garden, despite having 2 meteor cameras monitoring, because they do very different things, and I'm into pretty pictures as well as the science. So I tend to do both. So yeah, that's why we fill up a lot of terabytes of data.
Yeah, certainly. I would recommend making sure you've got at least 2 or 3 external hard drives available, because you're going to get a lot of stuff. In fact, I actually have my camera sitting down beside me. I bought it on eBay. It's got a lovely sensitive Sony chip inside it, and I've just got to wire it up and attach it to a computer so that it can actually talk to the internet. Again, that's going to be going on to Nematode, and no doubt UK Mon as well. In fact, I do believe that they were imaging red sprites and stuff from the ISS.
Yes, I think they have, and it's yet another thing I want to add on my tick list of things to image, because when I image lightning, particularly in the dark, I always have my camera at a very low ISO, and that means I can do a 10-second exposure, and then if there's no flash, I just delete the picture. leave it running on continuous, take 1,000 pictures, delete 997 of them when I get home. If you're going to image sprites with a camera, you've got to have it at a very high ISO because they are so faint. But using a modded camera will help because they are very red, and obviously a modded camera is more sensitive to that. But it's going to mean now when I go storm chasing, I'll be taking a second camera to do it at a higher ISO and more sensitive to the red and try and capture the sprites above the main storm clouds. It's been a good year for storms. I mean, it's not good in terms of damage that they do, but it's been a really good year in the UK for lightning storms this year. I don't think I remember a year where there's been quite so much. So,
well, as I say, I think a lot of it, to be honest, is that our climate is changing. So,
it is.
They reckon that this year's hurricane season has been one of the most atrocious ever for severe storms.
I mean, I've never seen hurricanes as big as the ones we've had recently over there in the States. They're just monstrous.
But here we go. Now, what it is, John Bortle developed a formula that expresses the survival limit of comets that pass within 0.5 AU of the Sun. So, in order to survive, if you're into maths, you're going to love this. If not, you're going to hate it. So, in order to survive the perihelion passages, such comets must have an absolute magnitude. Now, the formula is H10 greater than 7.0 plus 6Q, where Q is the perihelion distance. So the formula mainly applies to long period comets that are making their first visit into the inner solar system. Short period comets can clearly survive with significantly fainter absolute magnitudes. Examples of this would be 2P Encke, 23P Borson-Metcalfe, and 96P to Machholz. So this is on page 18 of the BAA. Let me scoot up to the top. Comet section observing guys. So there's a little bit about it there and how they work out how close and how bright a comet has to be to survive. And yes, my brain did have a mental flip just looking at the equation. I can do this stuff.
I've seen worse equations. That doesn't look too scary.
Oh, you mean like the Drake equation? There's a scary equation for you.
The Drake equation, yeah, that came up in one of my OU exams, and they asked a question that we'd never gone through in the book before, which all the way through the book with the Drake equation, they tell you not to apply numbers to it, and then the exam question told you to apply numbers to it. I was, great. I have no idea how to answer this.
I know what my answer would be. According to the textbooks issued by you, brackets the OU, we are told not to apply numbers. This therefore makes this question invalid. Exclamation mark.
I should have written that.
Exclamation mark. Having said that, though, I'm pretty sure that that does sound like a trick question, doesn't it?
It does, and you're never sure if it is a trick question.
Yeah. That's something you should always ask, I suppose. Mr. Examiner, sir, ma'am, if there's a question that says we have to apply numbers to the Drake equation, can we say what we really think of that being stupid and the fact it goes against everything we're taught as students?
I was quite cross because I love astrobiology, and that book was my favourite bit of the whole OU course, and I'd done a lot of revision on that, and I was like all excited when I saw the questions, and then I got to the end of that section. I thought, I don't even know what this is. We've never done this. So annoying.
Yeah. Now the thing is, a lot of people say, what the relevance of meteor showers to comets? Well, let me just go into this because I'll go into the meteor shower calendar. So right now, one of the most active is the Northern Taurids. That's active from October the 20th to December the 10th. Now, it is much like the Southern Taurids. It's just active a bit later in the year. Now, when the two showers are active simultaneously in late October, early November, there is a notable increase in fireball activity. It seems to have a 7-year periodicity with these fireballs. 2008 and 15 had remarkable activity. Now, why is the linked into comets and why are we discussing it? Because this particular meteor shower, its parent is 2P Encke. So there you go. This is proof. Another one, it would be the Orionids, are active from October the 2nd to the 7th. It can be a medium strength shower. Sometimes it does go to high strength. In a normal year, we're talking about 10 to 20 shower members at maximum. Exceptional years like 2006, 2009, the peak rates were on par with the Perseids, and that's about 50 to 75 per hour. The parent of the Orionids is P1 Halley, or 1P Halley, or Hawley.
Hawley.
Well, you can actually use Halley or Hawley. It is safe. You get really sticky wickets if you start calling it Haley. And I really did have a go at Marty over that.
Well, it was interesting. Did we see any increased rates on Draconids this year? Because Jacobini's Inner had just passed close by. There was a prediction that it could, because the normal rates of the Draconids are quite low, like six per hour, and there was a question that it was going to be a lot more active this year because of
the
Jacobini's Inner.
The thing is, the way I've always seen it, and I know it is certainly true with one of the other ones, weather showers, which one is it I'm looking for? Swift-Tuttle. I think it's Swift-Tuttle, maybe.
The Perseids.
Yeah, because what happens is when the comet goes through, it's trailing debris. Now, it may be that we have the comet through at X point, and it's maybe later on next year, maybe it's a year on, that we actually get perhaps a better display. Yeah,
that makes sense.
For instance, the Perseids, their parent is 109p Swift-Tuttle. Alpha Capricornus is, interestingly enough, 169p neat. Southern Delta Aquarids, 96p Malkovich. That's got a question mark. That's open to discussion. And of course, Hawley's Comet is also responsible for the Eta Aquarids. C1861 G1 Thatcher is the Lyrids. The Quantadrids is actually linked to an asteroid.
There are two that are asteroids, aren't they? Isn't it? Geminids are also an asteroid.
Yeah, this particular one is 2003 EH, which is the asteroid, which is the parent.
Are they thought to be old comets that have become asteroids, or are they always thought to be just asteroids?
This is the interesting thing, because up until now, there's always been, you see that it's a comet or it's an asteroid. And there's been a lot of controversy recently because we're suddenly beginning to find some asteroids have dust tails.
Yeah, they show a lot of cometary activity, some of them, don't they?
So are they dying comets, or are they just comets that have gone inactive for some reason, and something that there's been a change in the solar activity that has perhaps produced or prompted an outburst? It is something that's still an ongoing investigation. So we don't really know. But some asteroids have been upgraded to comets recently, and I believe some comets may get downgraded to asteroids. But it's one of those things. It's an argument that's going on, and I think for a few years yet we're not going to have a definitive answer.
Unless you send a probe to every one of them, we're not really going to know. I guess.
I could just see the boardrooms in ESA, NASA, Roscoff, NASA, in China, shrieking with dismay at the cost. Well, we've got to send a probe to this one too. How many so far? Oh, 2,000? Yeah,
just send out a cloud of CubeSats to all the comets and all the asteroids.
Yeah.
But I find it quite interesting when you start studying the debris clouds from these objects, because some meteor showers have got a peak that is really tight and only covers a couple of hours, whereas others spread over days and have mini peaks before the main peak, and it all just depends how long ago it was the comet came in, how many times the comet's been in on that orbit. There's no two meteor showers are the same, and they don't seem to behave the same 2 years running. So even if you do have a meteor shower with a predicted ZHR of 10, it's still always worth observing.
Well, one of the strongest ones of the year is the Geminids, and that's normally from December 4th through to the 17th. Ironically, its parent is not a comet. It is 3200 Pythian. So go figure.
I was sat outside in 5 inches of snow for the Geminids last year, but it was worth it. It was really good.
But the thing is, the other interesting thing is this is a near-Earth object as well. as I recollect. Paphian was on the near-Earth object list.
Oh, of course it was, yeah.
So it's understandable if there's debris coming away from the asteroid that it's creating a meteor shower, because it has a defined orbit, and we are intercepting the stream on a regular basis.
Well, the different showers are characterised by different sorts of meteor as well. Some of them are fast-moving, some are more likely to produce fireballs. The Perseids are nearly always bright green, whereas I think the Geminids are quite often orange. Is it the Geminids that are orange, or the Orionids? But they can be different colours, obviously, depending on what the debris is made of, because asteroids and comets are not just made of one material, so depending what burns up will be different colours, and that's a good way of trying to decipher whether you've caught a satellite flare versus a meteor, because a satellite flare will never be bright green. So the Perseids, all the Perseids I've photographed have got a really vivid green colour. So I just find it really interesting. And if you're lucky enough to do any spectroscopy on a meteor event, then you can really get stuck in.
You read my mind, Mary. That was about the next thing I was about to bring up, actually.
The luck of the gods to get that. But,
but it is worth trying to do, because that'll help understand the chemical makeup of said asteroids.
Oh, in great detail as well. I've been on a course for spectroscopy with Hugh Allen, and it is just so interesting. And again, if you're into the science side of astronomy, for a fairly low cost grating, you can do spectroscopy, and you can get peaks once you've normalized your data. You can see all the peaks of every bit of composition in a star. It's just amazing. It really is incredible to look at these graphs that you produce, and it looks like a scientific paper. It's proper science, not just pretty pictures.
But as I say, it's worth doing, because it all contributes to cometary knowledge, and you can actually do spectroscopy on comets. So
yeah, I've seen some really nice spectra on comets. You can also, if you've got the equipment, doing that on a supernova is really interesting as well. I know my husband's done spectroscopy on a supernova, and that's always quite fun.
Well,
I say that as if I know how to do this myself. I don't.
Well, what we need to do then is get Mark to come and talk to us about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you know what? Next episode looks like it's going to be CometWatch at the pub, so that will be fun. Myself, Neil, and Mary are all meeting up together, because I'll be in the UK for a couple of weeks, so it will definitely be interesting. And you know what? I really wish Patrick was still with us, because I would have sent him an invitation and say, come up and join us for a CometWatch show. That would be, I think, very much a fun episode if we could have done that.
Oh, wouldn't it? Like dream dinner dates territory there, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Well, I've met him a couple of times. Ironically, once at the BAA, and then the next time was actually on a train going to St Albans. So he's always got some good stories and stuff, and always worth a listen to. Even watching some of the old back episodes which are commentary related, I do recommend that, because there's a lot of, even though some of it's out of date now, obviously, but it's still worth watching. And certainly watching the 1P Hawley Encounter show, recommend it. I watched it.
That's really good, isn't it, that episode?
I watched everything live from Marconi, because we had instruments on board.
Oh, nice.
So I was allowed to go and watch it in peace and quiet, and shriek to my heart's content as the results came in and the pictures came in. Then we went to Greek Sculler Up, and we just showed really what Europe. I will say this in this phrase, in what European engineering can do, because Giotto really did. Not only did it bring home the bacon in regards to Hawley's Comet, it went on to a second mission, even though it had taken a massive knock to the camera. It still had science instruments it could deploy and use at Great Sculler Up, and that really did help us. So I suppose really it was quite a start of a new space age, being able to send our first probes to a cometary visitor. It's
been quite a sad week with losing Gaia and what's the other one? There's two. Kepler, that was it. Yeah, Kepler and Gaia both gone this week. It's,
Well, Kepler had its second life, so to speak. It went into its warm phase for a while, and that did some great science as well. But you know, what,
thankfully Hubble's okay because that was
Hubble's
scary for a while.
Hubble is back up and running.
So I did a bit of research on this because I was invited to go on a talk about it on the radio when they were having the gyroscopic issues, and it turns out there are 3 other completely unused gyroscopes that are higher spec than the ones that they've had issues with that haven't even been brought into play yet. So even if the current gyros that are surviving fail, they've got 3 backups that they can bring online. So it's good to know, really good to know, because James Webb isn't going anywhere for a while, and we need Hubble. We really need Hubble to still be doing stuff.
I'm beginning to think if they can actually get SLS going, and certainly Super Falcon and Elron's super big freaking rocket going, maybe they can send a servicing mission using Orion. Orion certainly is quite capable of safely getting to Hubble's orbit. Sending the space shuttle was a gamble, purely because the fleet was aging, and of course it was way beyond its designed operating radius at the time. They had to have a second shuttle ready for instant launch if something went wrong, because otherwise they'd have been staying there and bring home the repair team on another shuttle.
Well, we've got a Series Rex pictures of Bennu, haven't we, this week, that have been released. So it's been travelling for 2 years, and that's going to be exciting. To get some more information about another asteroid up close.
And
that would be really cool.
And
samples as well. Is it sample return, that one? Is it bringing stuff back?
I know the Jackson mission is definitely sample return. I believe Osiris Rex is supposed to be sample return. So it's something we've all got to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely.
Stardust told us how to do it, and we're literally building it each time we send a new mission. We're doing stuff more than we expected. Our science instruments are better. I suppose, as the Americans say, more bang for the buck.
Oh, it's going to bring a sample back, which will come back to Earth in 2023. So we will actually have samples of Bennu in a few years. So that's awesome. And
of course we'll have samples of the Japanese target roughly about a year earlier, I believe.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting. We're going to find out if it's a solid object or just a pile of rubble that's held together on its own gravity. I know Dr. Simon Green is really looking forward to knowing the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose we really should close now. It's great to be back. Nice to chat with you again, Mary. Hope, as I say, next one is going to be Comet
good one.
The pub. That'll be hilarious, because we'll actually have video of the 3 of us doing our stuff, which means I've got to print out all the actual bits and pieces from the websites.
Yeah, we can. Well, at least we'll have Wi-Fi, hopefully, so we can check stuff on our phone. And it won't be 1 a.m. for me when we're recording, which will be a nice change.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be nice, isn't it? Humane times for a while.
Well, I'm an astronomer. I'm used to staying up late. Yeah. It's not a problem.
Don't you have a problem sleeping? So no, I'm an astronomer. What do you expect?
No, exactly.
Well, I think that's probably the best thing to do. We're nearly at 50 minutes, and so yes, we are back. I don't quite know what's happened with Neil, but Neil will be back as well, I'm sure, and plenty more good shows and plenty of good guests. Even I might actually see if we can get Terry back as well.
That'd be great.
Get
it's
his
been a while,
on the current crop. Yeah. Oh yeah. Busy man, Terry. So as I say, it's 16 days, 22 hours, and 56 minutes. Mary, till I've been on a plane to London.
not that you're counting or anything.
Not that I'm counting or anything. Oh, heaven forbid that. So, on that note, I'm going to say it's good night from him or her.
And good night from her.
Good night.
Bye.
We hope that you've enjoyed this program from AFM Radio, the broadcast service of Astronomy.fm. This program has been released under Creative Commons license. Please contact us for details. You may find more of our AFM original programs on our website. It's really easy to find us. We are astronomy.fm. You may also find us in the iTunes radio listings near the top of the News Talk section, and also as an iTunes podcast selection. We'd love to hear your comments. Please email us at radio@astronomy.fm. Thanks so much for being part of the voice of astronomy around the world and across the known universe. This is astronomy.fm radio.
Hi, this is Tavi Greiner, Astronomy.fm's Vice President of Communications. If you enjoy our programming, please let us know with a donation to astronomy.fm/donate. We really do rely on your support, and it's true, every little bit counts.
AFM.